What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to bring back Fragrance Friday with a bang, and I really think that it's super helpful when YouTubers who are either of love with fragrances, and that's their whole channel, or just people who like beauty in general, talk about the fragrances that they actually have a dent in, something that you can see significant use in, because it's very easy and okay to say, you know, I like this scent, but to me it's a completely different thing when you actually see the dent and the usage of the product, whether it's makeup, fragrance, whatever. But today's video, I want to highlight fragrances that I have shown a big dent in. I have 10 to talk about. I also have one special one that I've been getting a lot of use out of lately. It's not a full bottle, that's why it's not really going to be highlighted specifically in this video, but I did still want to highlight it in the event that you are interested because it is a newer scent. So if you're interested in hearing my 10+1 fragrances, let's get into it. Very quickly before we dive into the video, and I will go ahead and just start off with the bonus just to get it out of the way. I did not record this makeup look. It is pretty much Project Pan, One Way or Sort, and then on my eyes I actually have my Adept Cosmetics and Heather Austin palette. I have this shade, which is Hey Y'all, and then I have a combination of the two browns in my crease, and then my inner corner 0603. So those are the shades that are on my eyes. I will hopefully have everything down below for you all in the event that you are interested. But let's go ahead and dive on in. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and start off with the bonus item just to get it out of the way. And this one is actually from yall. It is their newest scent, and it is in Love Fest. Now this is supposed to be kind of a burning smoky cherry scent, and I was very interested because I can't think off the top of my head of a lot, if any, cherry scents in my collection. And I'm not one to want everything under the sun, but I did want to sample this. I find that I really enjoy yall scents in general. This was the only kind of travel sample size that they had available at Sephora. If you order from the yall website, you can actually get the little cute bottle, which I do prefer, but this was okay. And this is really, really nice scent. I think this will be even better once we get into the colder months, but I have worn this at least 3 days in a row since I opened it and like actually smelled it and applied it, and it's really, really nice. That said, like I said, I've only worn it 3 times, and I feel I've gotten a very big dent because I love to kind of overspray. For me, this doesn't last very long on my skin, but I just enjoy the scent enough that I'm gonna go ahead and keep using it. Although I have heard that people who have that and Lost Cherry from Tom Ford say that that actually lasts longer on their skin than the Tom Ford scent. So I don't have that particular scent, so I can't really give you guys that comparison, but I will say compared to my other yall scents, I feel like that one does dissipate off of my skin a little bit quicker than I would hope. Okay, now let's get into the actual full bottled perfumes. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the fragrance mist. I typically only get my fragrance mist from Bath and Body Works. So far that's just been the site for me, but I am kind of considering potentially looking into the Victoria's Secret perfume line, so we'll see what comes of that. But for today I have 3 fragrances. I've already mentioned these in favorites videos, but I wanted to show the actual fruit of the usage that I've said I really enjoyed the product. So first, with I believe some of the best usage is actually this one, and it is the white tea and sage scent. This is a very, very calming scent to me. It is very, very reminiscent of a spa. I did just recently go to a spa, and I feel like it would have like literally had me kind of blending in with the scent profile of the actual building. So that's really how calming this is. The top notes that they have here are sparkling bergamot, white tea, and fresh sage, and it's super, super calming. I really, really love this for at night when I'm actually going to bed. This is a really nice scent. I love using mist in general, body mist that is, right before I go to bed, because I find that they last a long enough time for me to shut down and actually go to sleep. But once I wake up and I'm going to the gym, I don't find that I'm like sweating and I have this scent kind of battling my sweat. And if you know anybody that does that, to cover up their sweat with a fragrance, it is just not the move. So very, very happy with this. and I have, like you can see, quite a dent. And in these fragrance mists, it does take some time to actually get usage on them, and for the length of time that I've had this, I think this is significant, especially compared to all of my other Bath and Body Works scents. And if you would love to see kind of my top 10, let me know. I have kind of tiered my scents so that I have the best ones in front and the other ones kind of in the back, so I don't really worry about touching those and those getting in the way of the good ones. Anyways, the next one is actually another kind of nighttimey type scent. For me, what I will do is when I come home from work or wherever and I'm kind of ready to kind of start relaxing at the house, I will actually put this on, and I find that this kind of is my pre-prep scent for night. It's a little confusing, it's a little unnecessary, but I love it. Anyways, this is Cozy Evening, and I have quite the dent on this one. I find that this is a little bit sweeter, kind of fresher version of White Sage. It doesn't have that sage, which I find grounds it and kind of gives it a little bit of an earthy kind of scent to it. This one, the notes that they talk about are lavender blooms, fresh freesia, and cozy musk. If you know me, I love a musky scent, and so that's my favorite part of this scent. Don't get me wrong, I love lavender, and I really don't mind the freesia either in this, which is very surprising. But yeah, this really is like my pre-calming body mist, and I think this and then kind of eventually layered over with this, it's a really nice combination. Highly recommend. I have absolutely no idea if these are still available on Bath & Body Works' website, but if they are, check them out. And then the last body mist that I want to talk about is actually a competitor to a full-bodied perfume that I will be talking about later. Actually, it might be a toilette. I don't actually know. But either way, it is kind of a lesser version, or kind of, I don't want to say cheaper version, but a younger version. So if you're younger and you like younger, sweeter scents, I would recommend this one. Anyways, it is their Bath & Body Works Orange Vanilla Twist, and this is really an orange sickle in a bottle. I really enjoy this scent, and it's super easy to wear. I find that this is kind of one of the quicker of these three scents that will really evaporate off my skin quickest, and I also need to use a lot more of it, but I still really enjoy it a lot. And this has notes of juicy orange, summer sherbet, and vanilla cream, and I think that really, like, it fully encompasses this smell. It really is those three notes. I think it's a beautiful smell, and if you want something that's super easy to wear during the summer but isn't a full-on like sunscreen or kind of a more typical scent, I would definitely say check this one out. I'm sure it's going to come out again next year during the summer, or even during the biannual sales that they do, because they tend to kind of bring out old stock that they didn't really sell fully. So I would definitely keep an eye out for these three. Maybe put them on your list if you keep a list and you wait like a smart person for the really good sales, because those are some bangers. All right, so now we have 7 more fragrances that I want to talk about, but these are all more eau de parfums or toilettes. They're real perfumes, not necessarily body mist. So there is a slight differentiation. I would say body mists have kind of the least concentration. Then you go to toilettes, then you have eau de parfums, then you have a couple more that have even more concentration of the actual scent in there. Let's go ahead and start off with one that I have the biggest dent in, and this is from the Rihanna line, and this is a Rebel Floor. I love this scent. I barely have anything left. The last time I tried, it was actually quite difficult to spray, but I still have a little left, and I do want to go ahead and knock her out before I potentially think about getting the next size. This is a really beautiful berry bright scent. I find that this is a very easy everyday scent. I've told you guys that countless times, and I also have told you countless times, of course, that this is something that you can wear both in the summer, in the winter, in the fall, in the spring. I think this is a beautiful year-round scent, and it's something that can be worn by people of all ages. Some scents I feel like, you know, can be a little too much for somebody who's in their young 20s, or a little too young for somebody who's maybe 50. It's all relative, but for me, this is something that is easy to recommend to any and everybody, and I can't wait to finish this. It will kind of be worth it. I mean, I only spent like $5 or something crazy cheap like that, but it'll still be nice to get my full money's worth before it turns easily before it turns. Next, let's talk about one that's kind of on the opposite scale when it comes to price range. This one was quite expensive, especially for the amount of product that I got. And this is from Jo Malone. This is their Sakura Cherry Blossom Cologne. Now, when it comes to Jo Malone and they say colognes, I would not say that dictates if it's a more masculine scent or a feminine scent. I find that a lot of their scents are very, very light, and so even if it is a masculine scent, anybody can wear it. Okay, this is an extremely light scent. I mean extremely light, to the point where I find that I have to spray multiple times in each of the zones that I like to put perfume on in the morning for me to even get a halfway decent usage. And I mean, this isn't gonna be wearing more than like 3-6 hours at the absolute max. So this would be also another good one that I have and would recommend to actually wear to bed. It is quite expensive to wear to bed, and like you or maybe your partner or whoever are the only person that actually smells it, but it's nice, it's cute. I would never repurchase this, and I honestly wouldn't actually recommend this to anybody, but this is one of those perfumes that I have one of the biggest dents in. I'm pretty much almost halfway through. There is a scent that I have in my collection that I would actually recommend more, and I am hoping to do a video where I kind of say, if you are interested in this, get this instead kind of situation. So in the event that you were interested in this and now because of this kind of conversation you choose not to pick it up, hopefully that other perfume is still available when I get around to filming that video, and you like that one more, because that one is definitely more concentrated and you can actually really smell it, and you don't need nearly as much product. And if you want to know the scent right now, just comment down below. I don't have my glasses and or I don't feel like moving, but I will tell you guys if you comment down below specifically asking for that now. Let's go into the Rival perfume. So I told you guys that Orange Vanilla Twist has a rival in this kind of video, and it is actually this baby. I feel like I've talked about it already, and this is from Guerlain. This is in their Aqua Allegoria line, and this is the Orange Salil scent. Now they annually, kind of semi-annually, come out with scents in this range, and this is the first and probably only scent that I'm gonna get right now. This is, I would say, a more sophisticated version of an orange popsicle sherbet type scent. There is something that's a little spicy in there, but also a very much aquatic scent and kind of feel once you smell it. I love it. It's a really nice scent, but it is also very light. I would say this is a step above my Jo Malone that I just mentioned, but it is still quite light to the extent that I feel I need to spray, if not extensively overspray, to really get a nice longevity when it comes to the scent. None of these really have the biggest projection. If you are interested, I would say all of these scents that I've mentioned have either moderate or low projection and really just stay decent longevity, just depends on the scent. But yeah, this one is a really nice scent, and I know it doesn't look like I have a lot, but it's quite a nice scent, and compared to my other perfumes really is the next kind of biggest dent. You'll see all of my other dents are actually more significant, but yeah, I needed another one, and that was a favorite, but also one I haven't really gotten as big of a dent as I would love. I mean, I would love to like finish her up this year, but that's not reasonable or kind of a thing that I can do for somebody who at one point was buying perfumes like 3 a week. Okay, that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Okay, 4 more perfumes to talk about. All of these are kind of old faithfuls that I've talked about at least once on my channel, and let's go with this one. This is the Viktor & Rolf Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid. This is a newer scent from them, although now they have that weird other one that I did not like. Anyways, this is another kind of berry-ish scent. I would say if you even remotely like Rebel Floor, you would definitely like this. They are definitely on the same line, same kind of scent note family. The difference I would say is that this one is slightly sexier, slightly older or mature in the best possible way. Like I said, I'm in my late 20s, but I'm still wearing this, but I do wear it when I want to be like that person. Okay, I want to be her today, or when, you know, maybe I'm going out and I'm trying to film myself. This would definitely be something that I reach for. It really has a nice scent to it, and it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. You don't need a lot for this perfume, and for that reason, I want to say that this is a very impressive dent. I find that I only need to spray once in each zone that I like, and there is definitely a nice little gap from the top and the juice. So really, I can't recommend this enough. It is a very nice perfume, and like I said, if you like Rebel Floor, I would definitely say get your nose on that one. I find that they are definitely in the same scent family. Okay, one of my oldest faithfuls when it comes to kind of the dent, and I didn't mention before, these are all dents that I made this year, so very significant usage out of all of these. And this is from Philosophy. This is from their Fresh Cream line, specifically the Warm Cashmere scent. This is so beautiful. I am so thankful that Lauren Mae Beauty was raving about this. I want to say at the end of last year, and I picked it up somewhere around early this year. It smells so good. Very calming, relaxing scent. It's like you're kind of literally being wrapped up into like some warm cashmere. Beautiful scent to wear to sleep, and it's not overly expensive, especially for the quantity of juice that you get. So I definitely would say highly recommend this to sleep. But I also have worn this on just days where I am like in a sweatshirt weather kind of vibe. I will lather this on and go to town. Now that said, this is definitely a scent that you have to overspray. It is light, not once again as light as Jo Malone. I would say it's kind of on the same level as the Guerlain perfume that I mentioned. Very beautiful though, highly recommend. And they have a beautiful lotion, so I do tend to reach for the lotion when I wear this, just so that it works with that. But that lotion in general just works with a lot of like, okay, so if you see any difference, I apologize. I recorded this original last part like hours ago, went to edit, out of focus for the last 3 fragrances, and I just could not edit that and upload that to you guys. So hopefully you guys don't mind, but let's just go ahead and get back into it. So this fragrance lotion is a really nice kind of calming, basic kind of warm vanilla with that cashmere, of course, scent. So I love to use that as a base lotion for pretty much any kind of calming perfume that I put on top. I will even use that for like my more musky scents that maybe don't have a lot of sweet vanilla in it, but I want a little vanilla in the overall aesthetic that day. That combination really works out. And once again, that is another video idea that I would absolutely love to do for Fragrance Fridays, talking about my fragrance layer and like what I like to do to kind of get the longevity of fragrances, but also the different combinations, whether it's between a lotion and a perfume, between 2 different perfumes, whatever. But I just have to find enough Fridays to get all of these ideas out. Last, I'm going to be talking about my kind of most famous or most talked about really fragrance duo. I love to spray these both together, specifically in the more summer and spring months. I find that these two together really bring the best out of both, and so I really wanted to highlight those, not only because of that, but also because of the fact that these have some really nice dents in them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is actually the one that I put on the bottom or the base layer on top of course, my lotion, and this is Chloe Nomad Absolute de Parfum. This is a beautiful bright citrusy, I would say more bergamot than anything, but also with some sage in there. It's a really beautifully balanced scent, and that is one of the things that I absolutely love about this. This is perfect by itself in the fall and the winter time. It has enough depth, although in the winter you may want to add even a little bit more depth with this, but overall I think it can work beautifully, especially if you're wearing this strictly during the day. During the night in winter you might need to add a little something to kind of deepen her up. But anyways, during the summer, as I've been wearing this, I have actually chosen to use this as a base, and I love this as a base because there's just enough of that like earthy kind of sagey-ish note to kind of center this, although it might be like wood or whatever. Anyways, enough of the whatever wood base note in here to balance everything, and it also has enough of that bergamot or lighter citrusy note to kind of elevate it as well. It's kind of in the mid-tier, I would say, when it comes to like depth and brightness of perfumes. And so for that, I find that it is a very easily manipulated perfume that once again can be worn year around, very similar to like my Rebel Rouge. I find that also can be worn year-round. And same with this one, although with this one I think you need to slightly manipulate it just a little bit, specifically in those warm spring and summer days, especially if you live down south in the US or even South America in the summer, all that stuff. I find that this scent could be a little bit too clawing and heavy during those months if you live in a very, very hot climate, or even very humid climate as well. So to put on top of that perfume, to kind of elevate it and make it a little bit lighter, a little bit fluffier, a little bit easier on the nose, and just kind of, I would also say it even kind of makes that scent a little bit younger as well, I use Jo Malone's Nectarine Blossom and Honey cologne. Now, one thing I would say, recommendation, when it comes to Jo Malone, I would recommend their 2 product colognes. I find that these are kind of their best with longevity, with projection, all of that. Typically, Jo Malone is really going to stay in your bubble. I don't find that a lot of the scents that I have particularly tried really have a big projection, but if you want something to actually last a decent amount of time and also to actually get a lot of use out of each spray of your juice, I would definitely recommend the ones that have 2 words in the title, unlike the Cherry Blossom like I mentioned earlier. And this one is so light, so airy. It doesn't have that watery texture like the Guerlain, but it has an airiness, kind of a breathing in effect that I really enjoy. If you've tried the Skylar perfumes, think of like Owl Escape, how that literally smells like you're breathing in fresh air. This has like a fresh air kind of note to it, in my opinion, and this is so beautiful. It also has, like, I would say a kind of earthy effect from that honey, maybe like a little bit of the honeycomb is kind of like ground in there to just give it a little bit of centering that makes this a little bit more elevated in like lightness level than the Absolute Nomad. And so because I mix them together, I find that combination overall just brings it up. It's not too high, but it's also not too medium. So it just kind of brings it into like the light medium, if you will. And it's just perfect enough for me personally. I do, like I said, love a nice musk to my scents, even during the summer. And I find that this like musky, earthy centering of this combination is beautiful. I wear this during the day, during the night, it really doesn't matter, and it's a really nice scent. I have had a couple of compliments here and there, although I don't know, I feel like sometimes I may just, I don't know, I look mean sometimes, so people don't comment on my stuff. Anyways though, this is definitely one of my favorite combinations, and as you can see, I've gotten a dent in both of these products, and this one particularly, the whole usage is all this year. This one, I will say, it's a little bit less than all of this year. I believe I was somewhere near the bottom of the Chloe label last year when I told myself I had to stop using it, but either way, I've gotten a significant amount of use out of this, and I will continue to really have this as like a top shelf product going into the winter and the fall, because this will just gradually work beautifully, and I will just slowly decrease putting this on top of this when I get to the kind of colder months, as I am clearly ready for. You see the whole sweatshirt vibe. I am ready for fall. Your girl loves fall and winter. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that if I maybe talked about some of these products, but you wanted kind of an even later updated, you wanted to see the actual usage goal of them, I hope that this video was very helpful. Like I said, I have so many ideas of Fragrance Fridays, and I'm going to try to manipulate my schedule just a little bit so that I can kind of get those out a little bit more regularly, because I've been really missing them, and it has been a while since I've uploaded a Fragrance Friday video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys tomorrow, because tomorrow's video will be something. Tomorrow's video will be my update for my Pan 22, and then of course Sunday I will come back at you again with my new makeup releases, and of course a new schedule will be posted on my community post all about the videos that I will be showcasing next week. So feel free to check out my community post, or just go to my tab, whichever you prefer, and I will see you guys then. Bye guys.